is Christoph Brendle. I'm Configuration Engineering Manager, and I would like to show you the infrastructure design portal and ISX Designer 9. So all lines are open, so if you have questions, just stop me and ask the questions. I also are having the chat of the WebEx open, so if you have any questions, you can also ask it there, so we can look at that. So, what I want...
Christoph, do you want me to mute?
Yes, please.
Okay, can you press *6 afterwards?
Yeah.
The conference is now in silent mode.
Okay, everybody, let's try again. So right now we are mute. So that means that please use the chat of the WebEx if you have any questions in the middle. So we'll try to answer this as we're working on. Otherwise, of course, in the end, we will have open for questions again. Okay, what I want to show you today is the design portal, the ISX Designer, especially the ISX Designer 9. In the ISX Designer 9, the Galaxy design, with especially the custom batteries, data center design, where we look at the Symmetra PX, especially with the ET batteries, the racks, how to make left-right rack mount PDUs, the cooling, there we also look specific on the ACRC301H, and the equile, and then we go back to the design portal, look at the ports, functional parts, and submittal and approval. Okay, so let's start live. So as we are everybody knows design portal as experienced user. If you ever have problem with your login, behind this help there is quite an extensive solution finder for your login problems. Otherwise, always a good idea is when you have problem in one browser, change the browser once, and then sometimes it works, and sometimes it's simple down, so it's just doesn't work. So when we just show the login in the design portal, we have different views, depends on who is logging in. So the most advanced landing page, my solution. You can change this by clicking here on the star. So you can make your own landing page. You can also make your filters, like I did here with Christoph. That's all solution which I'm working on. That's my filter. What we see here is what we internally in Schneider see. So internally in Schneider we have my solution, all solution, shared solution, my archived solution, and standard solutions. Partners have different view. They have not the all solution, but they have their own company, so partner solutions. So their own company they will see. What I also will show you here is on the riders up here, we have different selectors, tools. So we have a data center reference design selector, where there is also prefab selection, reference designs in it. Small IT solution selector, the one we can go over our homepage. Then we have trade-off tools. We have EcoStream CFD software, which is quite heavy, so if you downloading that, be aware that you have a good connection. Then an access floor tool, which is an Excel file. And we also have a Uninet connection. The Unicalc is the one just for name only. So if we need Unicalc from EMEA, we can download it through Uninet. In the design portal in design, we have different views: solution view, new solution, and desktop designer. The one you see on my screen with the calculation is a Guter tool, which probably the most don't have access. What's new? Here you can always click what's new. I have to say it's not really updated. I think the last one was about a year ago, no, even longer. I know, here March 27, 2015. So it is not really updated. The next release which we will have is end of next week on the 25th. And we have typically close to the end of the month one release. And if I say release, it always is a release of the design portal and the ISX design. They always bundle it together. Then what you also have up here is the preference. In here you can change where you want to land. So my language is English. My preferred country is Denmark. Landing page is solution view, and I have 10 rows per list. You can always change that. You can change that it's always training as a default or not. So that's something you can change. So if we go to a new solution, you see in here we have different configurators in the solution. We have the ISX design, infrastructure designer, so this is the ISX designer 9. We have the small IT solution designer. We have the EcoBreeze configurator and the Galaxy configurator. Small IT solution designer is a designer where they actually work right now hard on it. So sometimes it's not available right now. For single phase, UPSs mostly with 1 to 5 racks. The bigger racks are bigger solutions are in the ISX designer. The Galaxy configurator in EMEA is just the Galaxy configurator for the Galaxy 300. So we have no other Galaxies in there. All the rest is in the ISX designer. Then we have the EcoBreeze configurator for the EcoBreeze. If you don't see that, it's not because you don't have access. It's because in the country you have chosen, EcoBreeze is not released. So if you ever have this problem, it is not released in all the countries. Depends on who is trained, what is the possibilities, and yeah, by LOB designed it. And then we have a PXP configurator, which is a Guter tool, so the most will not see it. Then we have standard solutions. In here you have prefabricated, you have standard solutions, micro data centers are coming as well in there. Yeah, so have a look. You can either copy and get it right approved away, or you can copy and edit it. You have like a template. Also, if you ever have a solution which you think, hey, I need this solution, and my colleagues, many times there's always a possibility that we also can add your temp standard solution in the standard templates. It is to say that for each country it's different, so that's why if you go to big countries you see a bit more than in smaller countries, because the LOB works that they go from big to small. Yeah. If you change the name, make first sure always that you have the right country. If you make a name here and then you change the country, then you need to change the name again. So if I go to another country, I just change United Kingdom, and then I can change the name. Training. What do we have? 17.9. Good. If I change back again, it will say, hey, this is already used. Oh, it's actually fixed. Good. B. Good. So when you go into the ISX designer here, you will see steps to follow, proceed to configure. As your experienced users, I assume you downloaded already, and you can always have the ISX designer open like me, so, and then just link to it and go for the one. So first I wanted to show the Galaxy designs. We we open, tack, then we suddenly lose it again. So here. Good. Room shape has been done just before summer vacation. We changed it. It's very intuitive. We have the rectangular where we can just change the meters, or we have the one which free drawing where we can use. For Galaxy, we don't need to add anything else. We can just say OK, finish. We don't need to define all the cooling proposition and everything else. The Galaxy configurator is here, but first I want to shortly show what possibilities we have in here. So if you have a solution or you're working on a solution and you have problems with your connection, when it saves, you get a problem, always back up. You can back up. The only thing you need to remember is the country, like you just saw with me, Denmark. So always remember to have Denmark ready, or the country where you work on, because if you're back in the office or at home with a good connection, and you start the design portal, making the same country an ISX, open it like I have here in Denmark, and then you can upload it. So you can restore, and then you're okay. See, then everything is there again, and then you can save. What you also can do is, of course, saving, like this button. Always save in between, especially big solutions, save that you don't lose. New solution, you can also start new solution from here. So it says again, my solution, then I can add training. And it starts all to do. If I select training or not training, it's actually not, I mean, as long as you don't submit to my team, it's not a real problem. If you submit the training solution, my team will not see it. So the configuration team will not see it, it will not get out approved, it will not be able to order. But as long as you work in a solution, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't submit, it doesn't matter. There's no change. You have the same price. Everything else is the same. So if you have training or not, you can also always change the status. I will show you afterwards in the portal back. So let's go to Galaxy. In the power, we have different power zones. So we have power zone where the PXs are located. We have the Galaxy estimator PX 250, 500. FS selector is just for a few people. It's mostly, or not mostly, it is FS selector, just to inform you, is not something magic. It is the old products selectivity. So we have a SKU list with all the old products we can add in there. And this is also the only difference between my team and what sales team can do. So that's the only difference in the ISX Designer 9. So this is the whole. But if we go to Galaxy, today we have 4 different kind of Galaxy: 3.5, 5.5, 7,000, and VM. I shortly want to show you the 3.5 because there we get some changes in the future, and then we go back to the 5.5. So if I have a 20 kVA, I can always select here power factor, future capacity. I can change, of course, the voltage, frequency, conversion. And as soon as I do that, you will see that I have a problem with the Galaxy 3.5. Redundancy I can, of course, add, and 3-to-1. That's only possible with the 3.5. So, but if I go here, you see that the order is very strange. So it starts with 10, 15, 20. It's not like it's the most likely like before, which we had. This is something they will get fixed on the 20th or on the 25th, so end of next week. That's in the release. They fixed it again, this order, so we are good. Then, if we go to the modular batteries, we can add here the batteries up to 4 external cabinets, of course. And something new, which I want to show you, is in advance, we will get standard battery option 10 to 12 years. So the H batteries for the Galaxy 3.5 are going to be added as standard. So you will be able to add it here. Just change it to here and you will have it inside. Yeah. As said, it's first released on the 25th. Right now, if you do this change, it doesn't work anymore. So if we go back to a bigger solution, Galaxy 5.5. In the Galaxy 5.5, we have our standard cabinets where we can select. As you see, just give them some minutes and then you can select freely whatever you want. In the standard cabinet, as you know, the batteries are installed and the cable which we get, or the interconnection cables are installed in there. The cables which we get is from the UBS to the cabinet if they're standing next to each other. So that's included. If you want to have another battery option, you can also go to custom and you select here a runtime. Let's do 15 minutes. Right now we have Excite and UASA as standard. As predefined, it's or pre-selected is always cabinet. So you can see here it's always listed with the total width length. So the shortest is the top. If you need like 2 times 700, you can also go down here. And here you have the different possibilities. Here, this is the relative price. You know that price changes. This is set once a year. In the beginning is this set, and then we go to the relative price. It's also open for partners. That's why we don't show the real price. Yeah. If you want to have racks, you can change racks. Be careful. If you change now the solution to UASA, it goes to cabinet, and you have to select rack again. About the rack, if you click here on rack, you will see the information on the rack, which is standard. If you have any special rack need, you can always ask in the submittal note for this rack. We will be able to add it. Also, if you have several strings and you want to have 2 boxes, so 2 battery breaker boxes, you can add that here as well. Yeah. Good. So if you go to custom and you see this triangle, then means you have no access to the custom batteries. If you have this case, please remember my name and send me an email. I will give you access. So that's possible. Otherwise, if we just select here and we go to the rack, and then we can go to accessories. So on the Galaxy 5.5, we can choose on this size, on the bigger sizes, external bypass. We can also go in and select single main input, top connection. We can select, add backfeed protection. We can add transformers. So if we need a galvanic isolation transformer, we can add. Some we have standard, some we don't have standard. You will see, if it's standard, you will get it right away. If it's non-standard, my team will add it. You can also get integrated parts like the filter improvement. International English. So here is as well, if you have selected a solution in French, then French will be pre-selected. If you want to change it, change it. It's just because Danish is not in there. So it's actually saying International English. Increased protection you can have, synchro board and the box as well. and in the end as well some extra cabinets if you have the need for the extra cabinet and spare parts on here. So if I just go and add a transformer, so you will see it will go in and add my transformer. In the communication, all the Galaxy 5.5 have already an Ethernet connection. So whatever I select here is extra. That's an extra selection. Good. So I have it unplaced. I'll just go back again. So it was a bit fast. So unplaced, I can select one by one or select everything with the mouse, left mouse, and select everything over. On the Galaxies, it doesn't really matter how I place them. So I just get the boxes. Of course, for the FSCs, it's of course nice that they know where to place them and where it has to be connected, and I can put them on the wall. Should have been able to put it on the wall. Yeah. So if, and this is a very good feature we have, if you have and you need to copy something today, you can copy also the Galaxies, and it will be up here the whole solution again. So up here, just copy on what you need, also the Galaxies, and you can copy it. I will show you with the rack, it's very handy afterwards. The next thing is service. In service, in the Galaxy, we don't have really a lot of options, even though the service tries to show here. So the software tries to show here. I will always get startup, and in startup, I can choose site coordination or not. That's something which we are getting as well on the 25th of September. That's not working yet. So if I add here site coordination, I will not get site coordination. Something you would need to add in additional parts so far. So if you choose enhanced, you will not get battery assembly, for example. That's not part, we don't have it. We have it for some countries, we can add it as standard, otherwise depends on the country. We have either service, the local service, or even some external, or the battery vendor is actually doing the installation of the batteries. So in here, I can basically just choose 7x24 or 5x8. If I select installation planning, I get no prices. So because this SKU is not defined in EMEA, I'm not sure, I don't know why it's available at all. Products, here I can now get extra hardware warranties. Where is it? On-site service is not included. It's not, no, it's not working. So, remote monitoring, sorry. Remote monitoring service I can add. This is working. Software I will not get because I have no software included. So in this report, I have 3 reports up here. Bill of material report, detailed quote report, part number status. So bill of material report shows you just all the SKUs. The detailed quote report shows you the SKUs plus the price. But it also takes longer. What else do I have? I can also go in and look it up in 3D. Pictures are not the best. Yeah, they're actually quite good. I mean, open rack. It's not really an open rack here, but the UPS pictures are okay. And you can make some screenshots. They also work on the pictures. This will not be released on the 25th. They're still working on that one. Then, if I save now, always save, I can go back to the design portal and look at my solution. Turn to portal. I have right away the price. I have some description shortly. I have a warning that the transformer is not the right one, so we need to replace it, TSS team. And I have report, so if I go to the CTO report, I can see what is included. Always, it's always different. So the Galaxy 5.5 is actually in one SKU, but because I chose to have a common main, it's an integrated SKU. So then we have the ATO list again. So ATO is always first level description, second level description, third level is the SKU itself or the part number. Same here, second level, third level. So that's how they know in the production that this part is belonging all together. Same is for here. The next UPS the same. Temperature monitoring, bypass, CB boxes, network management card I added with the sensor. And then down here, the batteries. Here is as well, first is always description, means that everything, that's kind of the umbrella, that everything is a G55 battery, UASA. Then we have the block information, first description, then it says 60 blocks. And then I have information for UASA. This complicated ATO structure is made that, in this case, UASA will know what to ship right away. So nobody, or this one is sent directly to UASA, and they understand this, so we don't need to explain it. They know it's 2 strings, they know it's for 60 kVA, they know it's a 0.8 power factor, 15 minutes, and on this rack. So that's why it is quite a complicated ATO structure, I admit, but it is that it's automated. So auto management and UASA and Excite, it's all automated. They know what to deliver. They know how to calculate the interconnection cable, and they actually also double check us. Then yeah, we just have startup here, and then down here I have a big description of the UPSs again. Name of UPS, what do I have chosen, selected, requested 15 minutes, I get actually 17 minutes, DC load, and it also says here that the assembly service of the batteries and battery rack is not included. And then I have also battery rack information. Yeah, and down here the floor layout. Good. In the portal I have different options now. I can add additional parts. So if I want to add something here, I can add. For example, airflow management is not really with the Galaxy, but afterwards I can add that. I can delete design, makes no sense, get incomplete. I can copy the solution. So if you need the solution again, I can in here, and this is also something they made just before summer, I can change my solution name. I can add their opportunity, and I can change the owner. So if I want to change the owner here, I can do that, and it will get changed. I can also uncheck training solution. So if it's training or not training, I can do it here. If this is grayed out, it means the status of the solution is not open, or you're not the owner of it. The solution needs to be open for that. Then I also have notifications. So if I want to have that my colleague is informed about this solution, I can add here his email address. And here I also see the status of the solution. If I would have copied, it's actually saying where did I copy it from. Yeah. Then I have different reports. I have the quote report. Quote report is the report without service. So if I need, in some countries we have this need, to have a quote report without service, it's in here. Detailed quote report is the same but with. So everything with prices and everything included, line by line. Here again, ATO has always one price, and then again the next price. All the rest is covered in that. Same for the batteries. I have the price down here. I can also get show with dimension and quote. Here in dimension and quote, it is to say that always look for the third level. I don't know why first and second level sometimes have a weight. They're not always correct. So always go for the third level. You can see it very easy here. It's top level, first, second, third level, and then you see it here, like this common bus. Yeah, it is not. It's very small, 1 kilogram, and then you see the UPS weight. If there is an error in here, it is taken directly from the from the encyclopedia. So I guess even the homepage will be incorrect. So please report if you see errors. But I know that the top line has very often errors, and unfortunately software says they have a problem with that, fixing that. So, but if you see at the third line, always, the third line, always check, is this correct? If not correct, please tell us. We would like to improve that. I know especially in some areas of our product range, you have problems there. Yeah. You can, of course, export it to PDF, Word, and Excel, or print it directly. Then CTO report, we looked at it. Shipment information report is again with measurement only, no price. Part number status report is not really, I mean, it shows that it's released, that's it. It doesn't show what is the lead time. As you know, we will, if there is a problem, there's a link here. Then you have like a pricing error problem. Then is the link there. We will show that. We also have advanced report. SOW here is the software scope of work. So it makes no sense right now in the Galaxy. Drawings, you can get Visio and AutoCAD drawings here. And here you can get the proposal. The proposal we also have in different language, French, English, and whatever you see here. You can select which one you want and then generate it. Takes a while, but you can actually work. You don't need to stay on the page. You can continue working. And then what we also have is the new feature. It is actually not new, but it works now. It is that you get a Word file with all the links which are available on our homepage. So if I just shortly click here, we'll see what I mean. It's again processing a while. Depends how much loaded the server in the background is. It takes a bit longer or not longer. See that our servers are quite busy. It's a good sign for us. But you can actually work in the background, and then you will see it not coming. Oh. Should actually come. Yeah. And what you get is a Word file with all the links to the manuals, which are just selected here, and the products. And it actually works. So you just click on the link, and then you have it. It's a very good link collection. No. Take longer. Let's try afterwards. Then what we also have is feedback to support. So if you have an error in a problem, you can give feedback here directly. I would recommend to go through my team. We mostly know about errors as well, or know who to escalate and know who to push to fix it. So that's mostly easier. Then the status. In the status, you will always see on the bar here, sometimes if it's green, then it gets auto-approved. So don't put any comment if it's green, like don't put a comment like please urgent or something. It would get auto-approved. We have seen that. If you of course need something, then right here. Otherwise, here is the transformer is not standard, so we need to add transformer. And then you can submit for review. I hope you all know your contacts in the CT team. Otherwise, as soon as one of my team members picks it up, you will get an email with his contact addresses, and you will know who works on it. Generally, is we have 1 working day for standard and 3 working days for non-standard, and we try to reach for the standard ones 90% of all time, and for the non-standard 80% of the time, and it looks good. But of course, if you after some days haven't heard about your solution, you can ask the guy who picks it up or escalate it to me. Yep. So I have now spoken enough about the galaxies, I believe. The only thing which I wanted to, where we get a lot of questions, is about the Galaxy VM. So Galaxy VM, first of all, we have the 2 UPSs released. We have so far classical and modular batteries, so that's everybody who has that. So I can add like on the Galaxy 5.5 my battery cabinet. I can unfortunately not add any external batteries in the designer right away. That's not possible. So if you see this in the Galaxy VM, it's not because you have not the access, it's because it's not added yet. It will not be released on the 25th of September. I don't know the status. I just know it's not released on the 25th. If you want to have external batteries, just fill this one out here as well. So say, hey, I need 15 minutes. I want to have it on a rack. Yeah. Stuff like this. If you have any preferences, you can also write this in the submittal node. But we will know, my team will know, and will add the batteries as a QSQ. So we will ask Excite or UASA as vendor, and then ask the batteries. The same is for the bypasses. So if I have some parallel version, standard works. Let's put some extra on it here. So then this bypass is not available yet as standard. It's also something my team will add. In this case, a 640, which we have. It is also not released, but we will get there, hopefully, soon. They are working on it. LOB works on it. So with the Galaxy VM, please bear with us. We are doing it by hand, everything still. Good. That was the Galaxies. So if I start a new solution, and I would like to show you also the equal and the cooling. Good. First, let's make some room here. 10 times 15. Next, so physical properties, tile size. As soon as I have chosen metric, it's 600 millimeter. Hot tile width, I can change it here. If you make an equal, I would change it first when you design the equal. It's easier because you won't get less mistake. Cold tile width, you can of course change here. If you make a hot tile containment, if you make cold tile containment, leave that as well here and change it in the containment configuration. Raised floor, you can give a raised floor here, whatever you have. First aisle hot, you can do that. Ceiling height, you can tell us. please make us aware if you have a very limited height, and it's actually just needed right now if we have a ducted solution. Otherwise, we are not looking at that. So going to the power, in the power is a pre-definition up here. So it's the redundancy, n+1, whatever I choose. I can always change it later. It's just a pre-selection. 6 minutes you will see as soon as I open the PX batteries. It is pre-selected 6 minutes. I can choose later on again. Power distribution on the floor overhead. As soon as I have a raised floor, on the floor is possible, but be aware our PXs cannot do it. The only one which can do it is actually our PDPM 277H. With all the others, we needed to route it on the side down and need some covering plate or some covering rack. So there we need extra. So as soon as you have on the floor, be aware or tell us already how you want to route it, what is the extra length you need and everything. Number of data troughs, you can select here. Add type to equipment, for all new none, the same is for the power troughs as well. Cooling. There's always a lot of discussion about cooling. First of all, this water temperatures we see here, 7.2, 5.6, is something which is in Fahrenheit an exact number. That's why we have such strange numbers. It's of course not something which we really work in EMEA on. So, and also if we see these numbers, we will go and question you because we see it almost never. So go higher, go ask what you have for a real one. Where is your number? 12.6 for example, quite low as well. Elevation is also something which we need to know. As you know, both UPS, so if you have, also in the Galaxies to say, if you have a UPS higher up, if I mean higher up, it's not a Denmark value, is more higher, like 1,000 or more meters, then please tell us that. The UPSs get derated because of the fans, and the same is of course for the cooling unit as well. So they get derated. It's an information to us. The tool itself is not taking care of it. They don't take care of it. So please tell us it is 1,000 meter or Johannesburg 1,700 or wherever. Glycol type as well. What you have, it's also derating the water capacity. If you have 30%, it's derating the water capacity. Then the same is the rack entry supply. So first, this raised floor leakage is something which is still a leftover from the time which we had worked together with the Stulz. It's not something which has an effect if we do that, if you change here. And we don't take it into consideration ever. So, but yeah, so it's a leftover. The same is with the temperature down here, cooler supply, parameter, cooler supply, max inlet. It is just for, right now is the rack, so the cooler supply rack inlet is the one we actually vary. And here we often have more, 24 degrees. And it gives us also tolerance to go with higher temperature in water. Like this. Same is with distribution method. If you have on the floor or overhead, especially on the ACRC 301H, you have a special kit which you need to add, which is getting added. So don't forget it here. What you have, it will tell you. We have a performance tool in the back here. It is not been updated for a long time, so be very careful if you use. I personally don't use it anymore. It is not showing right values. The same is you will see afterwards the settings in the cooling unit. It is not really showing the reality, and that's also why cooling is not auto-proofed in EMEA. My team is doing it still by hand and calculate the performance. So if you have a question about it, they can tell you how they calculate it. Good. Let's finish. So we have the room properties we have done. Next is rack. In the rack, we have now many more than we had just some time ago. So, like before summer, we had 8. Now we have also the networking rack. In the rack, we have 600, 750, 42, 48, 1070, and 1200, and then networking or not networking rack. That's the ones we have. If you have special request, 800mm rack is quite a common request. Now we have the gray racks as well. Of course, we can add that if it makes sense. SV racks, we have requests. Be careful, it doesn't work with equal. So that's something we can add. So if we choose a rack here, deep rack, no, that's deep rack wide. I can choose how many I want. I can choose here the kilowatts. So if I, for example, choose 7, you see here the rack mount PDU changes. If I select dual here, I will get double rack mount PDU, but I will also get double UPSs. So if I want to have double rack mount PDU but M+1, I can add AP8853 here, for example. That's my whole list. I can also remove all. I can add more. If it's a 1200 rack, I can add up to 8. If it's a 1070, I can add up to 4. Sorry. And you see here, like with my 1200 rack, here I get left, 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 right. And you can actually design it. You can remove the ones which you don't want. So like you have one left, one right. So that's something you can do. You can also, if you have a rack with 0, you can also take this enable Schneider recommendation out. So if you have a rack with 20 kilowatt, but it is a blade center which needs hardwire connection directly, then you can enable Schneider electric recommendation. That means we still know the error and the capacity, but you don't get any rack mount PDU, and you still can continue. So if I just add this, down here is again the sensors. So I can add or remove. As soon as I add something like this, it says that NetBots 200 is not available for this. Will not work with NetBots 200. Good. I can add OK. Here again, either select one or all by ones. As you see here, the rack is bigger than my aisle, but as soon as I let it drop, the aisle will change and everything gets pushed down. So I will just add some other racks just shortly to show you the difference. 5 more. So, and you see here the difference in the depth. Good. Going to the power, next is power. I can do a power zone here. I have all the racks on the left side. I can move them over. I will right away get an error because the capacity is much higher than the pre-selected 48. If you go to the 96, it's okay again. I can go to the battery. And in here, I have now the options to add classical battery. As soon as I add this option, I will not be able to have this cabling. So what I can do is distribution only, put it over here, add first my modular distribution, so I have all the cables, and then go in, back again, and add in here, then go to the battery, and that should work. No, it doesn't. So I have to add the load, which is 43 in additional load, 43 kilowatt. And here be careful, it is watts here. In the PX 250 500 it is kilowatt, so there's the difference. And then I can add classical battery power distribution. As soon as I add classical, I get absolute right away a wall mounted. If I have the normal batteries, I can always choose wall mounted batteries. Otherwise the distribution is included. So let's go for ET here, then power distribution, wall mounted. There are 3 different external bypasses. So we have a 300 millimeter lineup and match. So looks like it's in the same cabinet than our cooling unit. Then we have a wall mounted with switches, is the value, and then wall mounted with breakers, which is normal, and the price is of course different. Good. So I will add that. I can also add, not now, but normally if I have distribution, I can add additional load. So I can add here. So unfortunately, this battery cabinet is always connected. You see, I cannot unconnect them. It's not possible to unconnect it. So it doesn't work. I cannot unconnect it. In reality, of course, you can have it external. In reality, you could have the UPS here and the battery is a bit further away. And I would like to simulate that with a generic rack that I have my equal as well. Because next I wanted to show you is the equal, so I can select all the racks, all my solution, and go. And because this is an existing, it won't work like this. Configure equal containment. You go here. In the equal, we have the possibility of 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, and 6 feet. And be aware, it is feet, so it's not 900, 1215. It is in feet, so it's 1219. Often we have the request to get 1200. If I select 1219, the doors can be pushed down to 1200, but the ceiling is 2 centimeters too long and needs to be cut on site. So be aware, you need extra time and some tools. It is not very difficult, but you need time. I have 2 possibilities. I can do ceiling or ducted. I can also advance. I can rack direct, which we get height adapter, depth adapter, or whatever. Or I can select elevated, which gives me adjustable mounting kits. For if you have a normal solution, a solution with our racks, use the rack direct. The elevated is much more work on site. You will also see if you make a solution, you get extra services. So even though you have a height adapter, it's cheaper for you to do that. If you have elevated, it's quite a lot of work, but if you have a third-party rack which doesn't fit right in, then use elevated. It's a possibility. The only thing which you have to be aware of, don't use the third-party rack on the corners, because our doors need the exact holes of the ISX racks. Then the panel material, we have ribbed and solid. So if you see through solid, then we have a drop out we can have, and also we can do lights. So 600 millimeter lights means the light is a 300 millimeter LED strip. With 600 millimeter interval, you have 2 times no light, 1 300 millimeter with light, and then 2 times with 300 is one each other, and so forth. The door as well. If you have 914, we have the hinge doors, which we know. We have curtains and sliding door. If you go higher up to 4 feet, you have curtains or sliding door. The hinge door is just for 3 feet. For the lock, it's unfortunately the case that we have just the standard lock and nothing. So the Swift lock is R&D stopped. It was planned, but they stopped it, so we don't have it yet as standard. Then you can also select the airflow controller. Airflow controller gives you the benefit that in a hot eye containment system, the control is much more sensible, and the cooling units can actually go down to 30% fan speed, where you have as normal hex or KEX solution, the cooling will just run the fan speed between 50 and 100%, with the airflow control between 30 and 100, because it's acting faster. That's why the window is bigger. But it gives you, of course, if you don't have so much load, a running profit, and yeah, you lose less power. Good. Down here, I can select the cooling unit I want, and I get already told how many. Be careful with this recommendation. You can select here in advanced. Also here it is said what is the nominal capacity. It is not really calculated. So if I go, for example, for the high temperature, always be aware that first of all, high temperature means, of course, you need a high water temperature. You need also your dew point very high. Otherwise, the dew point control pump will run constantly, and that's not something which we want, because it would reduce the delta T on the coil. But always still use the dew point control, because if you have high humidity, at least this dew point control pump can help you. It will not reduce the water in the air, but it can help you that it still runs. So mostly I would have another humidification control in the room. Yeah. Then you can also have cable detectors. If you have a water cable detector here, if you have like us here 3 high temperature cooling units, if you select 1 here, you get 3 times 1, so for each cooling unit. So you don't have to ask for 3 here, you would get 9. Yeah. And here in the H version is also very important that you select where is the piping coming from, bottom or top, that you get the kit right away. So here I select 1, and here I have stainless pipe, which I can select as well. If I say OK now, I will get my configuration, and you see here now I can add in here. I can make a trick here. Really working, huh? So put it here. So with this solution, I have a problem. Oh, first of all, I need to add the cooling unit. Sorry about that. I have other problems as well. Down again. Then we actually have absolutely no problem in this case, which is nice. So now the UPS fills exactly up, and we know that the UPS is in the ISX rack, so it works physically. What we can see that is the cooling unit is not connected, so I need to connect the cooling units as well. Unfortunately, the cooling units, the H version, are hardwired, so they have not the same the plug connection, so they're not even able to be added here. So this is a work you have to add manually. So if you want to have cable, you need to have added here or up here, and it is 1900 watts. And for example, if you add 3, and you can add, of course, some cables where you can cut the plug away and then add it. So you will get it in here. So in this case, it will be connected. What I also want to show you is here you can select whole solutions to copy. Because of this electric rack, which doesn't work, you can also just select like this, copy. So if you make one design of an equal, you can copy it and then make all equal connections. If I just select this, then it actually works. Copy. So you see here, I can do the whole solution again. But as you see, there are some problems which we still have, and this is because the racks of 1200 millimeter moved, so they are not working. So in this case, always take the row itself and then make an equal on top of it. So, jump back. Good. What I have in cooling, as soon as I select cooling, I can see everything is green. Beautiful, of course, but green means that the tool itself says there is enough air. It's just air, it's not capacity, nothing else. If I go to the cooling unit, it also tells me that I have 15.48 kilowatt load on my coil, and my estimated return temperature is 23.14. No, what is it? 23.14, that's the capacity I have, and estimated return temperature is 31.4 degrees, and the airflow is 4,200. And here you also see a bit the problem which we have with the cooling. The airflow is 100%. In reality, is of course the cooling unit going down with the airflow and adjusts to the needs which we have here, and also the performance is not really where we want to have it. So don't trust this. We calculate, my team. It is an indication. Like in this case, I'm quite sure it works. But if you have red, sometimes it still works. Yeah. So that's the one I wanted to show about this the cooling. Then if I go to the rack, right now, maybe you see it, I have 125 CFM. That means that I have a delta T of 14 degrees over the server. So, and this is also why, if you look, for example, in the manual of the ACRC 301H, don't forget that this is also limiting you, because in the manual this delta T is sometimes much higher. And if we see then sales coming back to us and say, hey, but in the manual the cooling unit can do 50 kilowatt. Yes, can be, but the 50 kilowatt is not calculated with the delta T in the air of 14 degrees. And you know that our equal is not 100% airtight, so the 14 degrees is actually not the one which we have on the coil, it's the one on the server. So we lose a bit, 10% we normally calculate of loss. So it is plus 0.6, which we calculate here in the cooling unit. Yeah, so that's why we have such difference. If you want to change the CFM and say, hey, I have a blade server, 16.7 delta T, you can do that. It helps us to determine if it's correct, if your cooling unit, if your solution would work with less cooling units. Good. Next one is security and environmental. As you see, as soon as I go to security and environmental, I see here all the sensors. So 2 sensors in here, 1 sensor here. I have in this rack 2 of the new rack mount PDUs, AP8853. So all my sensors can be connected directly to the rack mount PDUs If I use the infrastructure expert, I don't see a difference where they are connected. It is the same. So I can actually choose here none. If I of course want the NetBots 200 because I have more sensors or I have reg access or whatever, I can select it here and add reg access, for example. If I want to have cameras, I can add that as well, include cameras. I get always a default. I can add or of course remove the amount as well. Then place it. Don't place it just somewhere. Place it somewhere where you think the cable makes sense, because it's actually getting calculated the cable length. Good. So management. In management, we have the data center expert. We have 4 different versions. So basic, standard, enterprise, and virtual. But even though you select virtual, tell us where you place it, because then you get all the switches and all the Cat5 cables calculated to it. If you don't select, you get an error and you don't get anything. So yeah, include whatever you need, of course, here. If you have any questions, you can click on here. Then you will go to the home page and it will show you things. Otherwise, you can of course include here all the software you need. And you will see, as soon as I selected the rack, here is my management rack, and it's also in here is then the data center expert and the switch. And all the Cat5 cables, also to the UPS. Service. As soon as I have cooling, as soon as I have more than 7 racks, I will always not be able to select basic alone. It's always enhanced, site coordination, and site coordination pre-selected. Depends if you need or not. I would recommend it, but depends. You can select. You also can select manage, so you will get some extra managed. It also depends on the country. It's not in every country. Installations areas all the same as we showed it. Here you can show on-site service and the software service, whatever you need. Price, value, premium, or you customize it yourself. Good. And I can also look at the 3D view in this case. So the troughs here are, right now wrong. You see the power troughs are in the front and the data troughs are in the back. This will also be fixed after the next release. So they will fix that. That will be done. Good. What I also can do is, of course, adding equipment. So if I have generic equipment, I can add here like Windows. I can add other equipment to the rack, for example. So if I have a rack editor, I can add Dell server if you want, IBM server, whatever. This shows you, if you don't know exactly the right load which you need to design, will show you how much is do I actually need. Because if you go to the floor and you go on the rack, which one I take? This one. Current load is 1.23 kilowatt, so it's no problem. But if you overachieve, you will actually get here a warning down here saying, hey, watch out, you are having too much load in here. But of course you will not get the server. Then up here I also have the possibilities of deselect the cable calculation. So if you do a bigger solution and you move rack after rack and you have already connected some of it, and here you can cross this one, move all the racks, is much faster, and then deselect before you save, and that's it. Then it's just calculating once and not all the time. So it's just to make it more fluent. It is just on big solution. There is no limit on the solution size. You can make 1000 rack if you want. The limit is in your computer. So some computer cannot handle it. It gets quite heavy. What else can I do? I can of course adjust the tile here. I can adjust the rows up and down. I can add corners and move walls around. So what I can do, I can look at the report, at the help. So if you have any question or you're quite new, then the help is actually very good. And then of course saving, backup and restore. I showed already. Down here, you always get warnings. Right now I get a warning that this one is not placed in a row. Where should it then be? And information. So like netbot service is not included. And then if I go back to the portal, it takes a bit longer because it's a bit bigger, but otherwise I see my solution, how many racks, the total load, sliding doors. I can look at the CTO report again, where I have all the equipment in the top, then in each rack what is placed, then my PDU configuration. And here is actually coming something new as well. So on the 25th of September, we will have a new option of order the breakers. So right now is always 1, 2, 3, 4 and continue, and they start on the first rack PDU and then change in the same rack, or you see here, same rack, next rack, and they just continue 1, 2, 3. So there is a possibility, an option, so it's not something you have to, is that the one Rackman PDU here is on phase 1, and the second one Rackman PDU will be on phase 1 of the next model. That if one model breaks, that I still have phase, and also for balancing, if this one Rackman PDU goes, then I still have the load on L1. So this is an option which has been requested from some countries. So this comes. Then I have here the Cat5 cable calculation and the placement of all my ports. And then also the netbots. Then I have the aisle containment report showing how is the aisle built together. How many lights and everything, if the rack direct, and all the parts I need to build it. Then I have the floor layout and then rack layout. Yep. So I think I would shortly just here in the submittal, just shortly make some recommendation or comments on this. So if you have special requests, first of all, like I said, don't write it's urgent if it's green up here, because it will block you out approval. If you have special requests, please tell us what you need, what you mean, but also tell us your assumptions. We have countries which don't tell us a lot, so we have to call often. So please, this is our communication tool. If we don't understand, we will of course ask you. But here, you know, we are so many cultures in this company. Here, please tell us why you have chosen what. Tell us that. So we will not make mistakes and the customer gets the right solution. Good. So that's all from my side right now. So if we could unmute and open for that.
The conference is now in talk mode.
Hello, are there any questions? Yeah.
Hybrid.
Sorry, I cannot hear anything. Was there a question?
I have a question, Hippolyte from Ivory Coast.
Yeah, hello.
Just know if it's possible to use the layout, the room layout of the customer.
Yeah, and upload it.
Yes, upload the layout of the room of the customer and do it.
Yeah. So
how can we do it, sir?
So yeah, you see here you can add background image. You can add background image if you have DXV or SVG files. I have tried it once, I have to admit, I'm not so experienced with it. It didn't look very well, so it wasn't easy. So I preferred to design it myself again. Yeah, try. There is a possibility. I have to say I never tried it very deep. So, yeah, that's what I can say. I can try it and find out if it works. There is the possibilities, yes. Okay, I will try if it works well, and will tell you. You have been. What was your name? Okay. I will try. Yeah. Do we have other? Yeah. So we have from Yama. We have a question. Can the airflow control be used with any cooling unit? Yes. Yes. With any which is released right now. Let's put it like this. All the units which we have right now, we can. But like if your customer has the ACRC 103, the old 300 millimeter, then the very old ones of them cannot. Then we need to see which CPU and which firmware. But the new ones, all yes. Yeah. Do we have other questions? Yeah, hello.
Christoph, this is Osi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, Osi.
Hi. Christopher, I have a problem, and it only pertains with large designs. Whenever I'm doing a large design, the system hangs.
The system hangs when you use what? What do you say? Light?
No. I said when I have, let's say I'm doing something like 200 to 300 racks or so, or 500 racks.
Yeah.
When I have large designs, the system hangs. Actually, there's one I'm doing now, and I've been doing it for 2 days because of this hanging issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it is the case. And some first you could like toggle cable calculator. What I'm always doing is I save like every 50 new racks. I save it again. And it is also a problem if your computer cannot track it. So it is the power of your computer and the connectioning power. So it is. Sometimes it's a problem. I have made last week 600 racks. It worked, but I also hanged it twice before. So
I thought it's only my problem. Anyway, if it's general, maybe I can check the capacity of my laptop.
Yes, that would be an option. If you have, of course, a very large solution, also we can also help. Or I mean, if you have a big solution, maybe we have more experience. We can help you.
You know the rack team now. You are part of the rack team as well. You are helping us in the rack team. So some of the solutions are getting bigger.
And that's why the South African, for example, so that's why we sometimes help out to give you.
Yeah, the one that's the one I'm working on now.
Oh, this design has been done.
Okay, but I'm doing an alternative for ISX in row. I know that Saw is doing the dump.
Yeah, let's take it offline. I will just ping you up. Okay.
No problem.
Do we
Okay.
do we have a
Mhm.
another? Yeah, I can see now. Yama. Yes, we have another. No, it will not work with third party. So the airflow controller just works with our cooling solution, which are released right now. Okay. Do we have another question? Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah, sorry.
When Madiba should be able to, and if something changes, I can work on it. So I'll be attending lectures. I'll be engaged. Really engaged.
I will not disturb you, but the issue
this one,
is just this issue.
Okay.
And what
Okay.
I need is
So I downloaded as well the list with all the manuals. So you see here. So that's possible now. So you get all the list with all the manuals. So that's the list you can do. That's in background. Okay. Do we have another question? No? Okay. Then thanks a lot.